myself, why am I here?
So I haven't seen too much of these kinds of videos on YouTube. I've always been curious how it looks like from an outside perspective. So I'm really excited to bring you a beginner's first time on set. He's worked with me a couple times, but not necessarily with a bunch of strangers. So it's gonna be exciting to hear what he's learned, because I can tell you this right off the bat, if you are a beginner, the most valuable lessons, even if you're experienced, is from actually being on set and getting firsthand experience as opposed to watching YouTube videos and practicing at home, which is really valuable, and that's what I did. But I came back from different shoots and I learned a ton of things that I would not have learned from YouTube or from being at home. You might actually learn it from YouTube because we're documenting it. But regardless, I'm excited to bring you guys along. All right, so we have everything packed. It took a little bit. Things came last minute. UPS was delayed. It was a whole different thing. But Kaique, before we go, how do you feel, bro? It's your first gig.
Very nervous because I'm gonna use like a camera that I never used before. It's way more professional than Sony's and that I used to.
Yeah, we're actually using a couple of red Komodos, so it is a little bit more
Overwhelmed.
Yeah, a little bit higher on the caliber, but you'll be fine. We'll be good. All right, we'll see you guys there. The good thing about this, and I think it's a really good first gig for you, is because there's a director. Like my first jobs ever, there was nobody whatsoever. I chose the shots, I chose everything, and honestly, it was the best learning experience for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you do have those opportunities, I would just YouTube the crap out of whatever subject you're shooting, and then practice at home, and it won't be too bad. Like, you won't mess up too bad. I watched a ton of YouTube. I practiced in my house. I did some orbiting shots. I tested my audio to make sure it was good. That's a huge thing, is like practice at home. You get new gear, practice like audio stuff, put it in your computer, do the extra work. Make sure you have everything set and ready to go before your first couple gigs. Or even if you're experienced now, like there are so many people that choose to practice on the day of the set.
That sounds amazing. And
you'd be surprised. A ton of people actually do that. I'd say a ton of people. I'll put myself into the like I've done that before, where I get new gear and I'm like, oh, whatever. It's the same as my old gear. It's the same concept. And then I'm using it on set. I'm like, oh no, that's not okay, bro. A main thing that you'll realize when you start getting your own gigs and you start doing those things is you'll know what gear you need.
Okay.
When you're shooting.
Okay.
I can't stress enough how important it is to actually shoot certain jobs before buying all your gear. Even in the group that I'm in, there are so many people that they buy a butt ton of gear for their first job.
Wow. Yeah.
But it makes sense. You want to be prepared.
And they will use half.
Yeah, but they want to be prepared. It makes sense. But you don't want to do that, dude. You want to have enough to get by. I would go back to my wife after almost every single shoot and say, I don't need this.
It happened all the time.
I need this. This is what I need to buy. I need to buy this, this, and this, because it would make my life easier. And I would sell off a bunch of stuff that I was like, that was completely useless.
Yeah.
Like even that drone you bought, I was like, no.
But I had a great discount.
Yeah, I know. But like even with certain things like that, I've used the drone maybe twice. In like a year and a half, maybe.
Did you use drones for the wedding?
I haven't shot a wedding in forever. I don't even want to. Yeah, so do you have any questions?
Okay, so tomorrow, it's be like this.
No, so we're actually not filming any boxing.
No!
Oh, yeah, I know. It's not super exciting. Tomorrow they'll have a weigh-in. So there might be like a small fight.
Okay.
Like, I might like get into it, but it won't be crazy like that. But really, bro, just do what you're told. And if I wasn't here, I would, as much as you can, try, when they say something, just look it up on Google.
Okay. Yeah.
Like if you're not shooting, just look it up on Google. And if you
I have no internet.
A lot of these things aren't super complicated. You don't want them to know you're super, super, super beginner. Not that you are, because you're not. But a lot of times in this industry, it's really annoying, but it's like pride stuff, and it's kind of stupid. But like, there's people that have been in the industry for like 30 years, and they're like, you don't know what that is? And like, shut up. All right, so setup was pretty simple. We just set up our tripods and the cameras that we brought, including the lenses, and we shot the press conference. We followed certain people, we listened to the director, and here's a good old reassuring thumbs up for Kaique.
I'm ready to fight, to win.
So this next portion is actually us tearing down, which wasn't what we were contracted for and was a good bit over our time that we were actually contracted for. There's a whole story behind it. It was a good learning experience for Kaique. Wasn't the biggest deal, but I do think it was important that this happened on his first gig, so it's something to be mindful of. But we'll go over the whole thing in our debrief that's happening next. And this is our second day. Again, Kaique killed it. He's standing in for the weigh-ins. He really was getting the hang of it more now, listening to the director and everything, even more so than the first day. But yeah, the team loved him. He was great, listened to direction well, and we're going to head back to the studio where he's going to debrief us on his experience. And we are back from our shoot.
When we were at the parking lot, I was thinking to myself, what am I doing with my life? I was like, why am I here? And I noticed there's something that I do, at least, like when I'm getting close to something that I have to do. I was going out with some girl. On the way to her house, I would say, what am I doing with my life? It was the same feeling here, today, because I was nervous, you know. There was a second time I was really nervous when we were setting up everything and I didn't have any clue what I had to do. I was just like walking after Anthony, trying to see like, there's something that I can do, because I'm not understanding anything. Yeah. And yeah, that was it. But it was kind of smooth. It was very easy and it was very nice, actually. Yeah.
What would you say is something that you learned that you didn't know beforehand, because you've never been on a real job?
Yeah. Well, I learned about like the eye thing with the grid, where they won and everything.
So like the rule of thirds?
Yeah, the rule of thirds. The guy explained to me, okay, you have to do this, this, and this, and then you just follow it, follow my lead. Actually, there was one time I did not hear what they were saying, and then Anthony had to call me like, Kaique, the ISO, and I was like, oh my god, yes! And I had to shoot him.
So he was shooting, and they were like, camera 4, ISO up. And they were like,
camera 4, ISO up.
And this is actually probably something good that you could talk about. I see Kaique's face, and he's so focused. I'm like, he's not even listening right now. He's trying to get the right shot.
Yes.
And I go, Kaique, raise your ISO.
ISO, you just ISO. I had to like lower it down because I was getting shots from the crowd and it was very dark. But when we were pointing to the subject, it was like I should have
a lot brighter. Yeah, so there was a translator and he had to ISO up when he moved to the translator. And then when he moved back to the boxer, he had to ISO down again. And it was just this whole thing.
It was because it was an important shot. Do you know the shots when they had to like look at each other and then like face each other? I was like, oh, I have to get that shot. And then, but my ISO was like all wrong. Yeah. And I was so focused on it that I didn't hear the director.
Which is good. This is a really low stress kind of job. Like it's not. So that's good. Like these are things that you can learn now, that if I'm getting the shot, but if it's improperly exposed, then it's not good. Yeah. You know, so like paying attention to the director. So we ran into a couple different things that I think was good for him to experience. The production company that we work for is super cool. But oftentimes like clients will ask, hey, can you stay another hour? Or can you do this? Or they'll start asking you things that you weren't hired to do. That did happen, which is fine. We ended up doing it anyways. Just try to be team players and stuff. So you did experience that a little bit. And you saw me at some point put my foot down and just be like,
okay, now.
Yeah, because they said, oh, they're contracted to 11 to 4. And really it was 11 to 3. So I did say, hey, no, actually we're contracted from 11 to 3. That'll happen all the time.
It was nice to see like all the background, all the production, how hard work those guys are. Every tiny detail, it's so crazy. That's why when you see the backstage, you actually understand why the prices are high for those type of events.
Which is good for you, bro. When we do a production, like let's say when we do a commercial, you're gonna see that even more so.
Yeah.
Because, oh, now we're doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously you're gonna get paid more and stuff. You're not just a camera operator. But then you'll start to understand, and this is good, especially when you're pricing yourself out. You'll know why these videos cost more, obviously in relation to your skill level and all that stuff.
It was great. It was my first time playing with this big boy called Red Camera. If you don't know, if you're a beginner like me, it's called Red Camera on the box. Red Camera.
It's a red Komodo. Yeah. Just a side note, this production company is actually super professional. They weren't just being super unreasonable. It was just little things, an extra hour here to tear down and do stuff that we weren't contracted for. The budget was already pretty low, so we were already kind of doing them a favor.
But they're nice.
They were super
amazing.
Professional. Yeah, this is not a whole crap on the production company kind of thing.
They're cool. I got a shirt.
You gotta. But I wanted you guys to see this real world experience just so you can maybe be convinced that learning on set is extremely important, and it's actually a thing that happens for everybody, whether you're a beginner or you're extremely experienced, myself included. I just put myself in the extremely experienced category. That's not what I meant. Doesn't matter where you are in your career, learning on set is a thing that happens almost every single time. Especially if you are a beginner, you do learn really key pillars in your career by actually just being on set.
And I was really nervous, and it wasn't a big of a deal, actually.
Yeah. Bro, you did great.
If it was my first time ever, yeah, it would be more.
Guess I just gotta knuckle touch myself.
Oh, sorry. My bad, I did not see.
You're good. But anyways, that's all for this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. If you aren't subscribed already, make sure you do that. Make a comment below down on any topic that you might be interested in. If you want to see Kaique go through the ringer, just any topic that you'd like us to go over, just let me know so that we can actually dive deeper into those things. We make these videos for you guys, so we make it for him too. But all right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.